Alright guys, we are back in my garage for another video, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the first time that I took my 340i to a road course. If you guys have been paying attention, then you know that my priority with this car was really to get back to the track. I love straight line speed, powerful cars are fun, but my head is primarily focused on handling and ways that I can improve the performance of the car around a road course. So we're taking it to Putnam Park and we're running with the Kentucky PCA. It's a great family-friendly, fun environment to learn your car and a nice simple track where you can test the limits of things in a safe environment without, running a risk of hitting walls or going off cliffs or anything like that. So it's just a really good space to get a baseline on the car completely stock and then kind of work my way up from there as I modify the car. Now, this is just going to be day one. It was a weekend event, so look out for part two. When that comes out, I'll post it in the video description. And yeah, I just kind of want to recollect how that weekend went because it was a whole lot of fun. And I highly recommend it to anybody that truly wants to test out their car, make sure that their mods are actually working, and get just a little more guidance in what you would want to do next. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy.
Now, as always, for everybody that's new to the channel, I create these videos to help keep you updated on the latest developments in our community, as well as discuss technical topics so that we have a better understanding of how our engines work. So if you're interested in more videos like that, be sure to subscribe because there will be a lot more coming out in the future. Alright guys, so we are in the car and today we are headed to our first track day in the 340i. I'm super excited to do this. I've actually been to multiple track days in the past. I've been to this specific track multiple times, but of course I haven't been in the 340, and actually in general I haven't been in a rear-wheel drive car before. So I'm super excited to kind of gain that experience. All of my history is with front-wheel drive cars, so we'll kind of see how this is different. Now, if you guys haven't already seen, I've probably posted multiple videos about how I've prepared for my track day, everything that I packed in the car and things like that. I'm also going to be posting other technical videos like this one to compare different things while I'm at the track. So keep an eye out for those. And then for all of my Patreon members, I will be posting behind the scenes kind of vlogs. We'll take a look at some of the other cars that are there because I'm going with the PCA. So there should be some pretty cool Porsches, and I'm kind of a 911 fanboy. So we'll see what we get to, get our eyes on while we're there. But there should be a lot of cool cars. It's open to everybody. Obviously, I'm not in a Porsche. So yeah, behind the scenes stuff will be for Patreon members. If you guys want to see that, I'll have a link down in the description and feel free to join. So my whole approach to this weekend is basically just getting a lot of seat time in the car. A lot of people that saw that I was planning on going to my track day asked me, what am I doing to prepare it? And outside of the maintenance and stuff that you guys have seen already, I really am bringing the car completely stock. And we're on stock suspension, stock wheels. I've got aftermarket tires, but they're all season tires, stock brakes, stock engine. We're going to try to start everything off on the stock tune. So all of that should give me a good frame of reference of how the car handles and what it actually needs before I throw any mods at it. So that's going to kind of be my goal here, is to slowly progress through the upgrades, try to measure how much each upgrade improves, and just make really calculated decisions with everything that I'm doing to the car. So yeah, hopefully you guys find this video useful. We're just on a long 2-hour drive. Luckily I'm only in Cincinnati, so it's not too far away, but I've got my family in tow. My wife is driving the X5 behind me with my kids, so we're gonna make a nice little family weekend event out of it. So hopefully you guys enjoy. So it is the next morning, and now we are finally headed to the track. We just left the hotel, had some breakfast, and super excited to get today going. It's kind of chilly right now. It's around 50 degrees, so I'm sure throughout the day it'll warm up a little bit and we'll be able to take advantage of the hotter temperatures. But like I told you guys yesterday, I'm basically going to be starting off all stock, as close to stock as possible. I'm still trying to burn off the last of the E85 I had in my car so I can run it on pump gas, and we'll just kind of take things slowly but surely. Now, unfortunately, the forecast for tomorrow is showing rain, so we're basically going to have to get as much data as we can today tomorrow should still be fun. You know, it'll kind of be a learning experience, and I have driven on the track in the rain before, so I think we should still be able to make a good video tomorrow talking about that. But today, the goal is getting good times, good data, understanding the car, really getting a lot of seat time, and just getting a better idea of what I want to do next. And that's one of the main reasons I kept this car stock for so long. I don't want to do any modifications without some level of understanding or planning on what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to improve. So this track day will be a great experience to get that info. But yeah, still trying to wake up, but we're gonna go ahead, head to the track and start getting everything set up for the day.
Registration. If you were way late, don't worry, tech and registration is still open. We'll let you go through it.
All right, so we just finished the first session and that went pretty bad. I was in everybody's way, which kind of sucked, but it is what it is. You know, there are a lot of different cars in this run group and everybody's soloed based on their experience, not so much their performance or times. So, you know, I was trying to get a little bit of space, and when I got some space and was able to really take the front straight 100%, the brakes got super soft, very soft. And that was kind of one of the risks I knew I was taking on, so I think I'm just going to replace the brake pads and the tires. I'm going to do those at the same time because you really want your pads and your tires to both be paired together. So if I'm going to go with a grippier brake pad that can handle more heat, I'm also going to want a grippier tire so that the car isn't constantly kicking in the ABS and stuff because the brakes are overwhelming your all-season tires. So we'll go ahead and put the brake pads and tires on the car to really understand how much performance we can get out of it in completely stock form. I think the stock tune was still plenty capable. I was hitting, I think, around 115, 120 at the end of the front straight. So yeah, I'm just excited to see when I'm not concerned with the brakes and I have a lot more grip, how much better we can get on those times. So let's go out and try this again. hard. session. I forgot to record after the second session, but surprised, the car felt way better. The brakes and tires just completely transformed it. I was able to rely on the brakes consistently, and I was able to brake much later because of the performance of the brakes. So I can highly recommend this combination, DTC 60s from Hawk with some Bridgestone RE71R tires. I did get a little bit of ABS kicking in sometimes, so I have to work on my braking a little bit to try to be a little more consistent and smooth. But I mean, you can really hit the threshold of these tires really easily with these brakes, and that's what you want. Something that's not going to have you under-braked, so you can trust it time and time again. And every single session has been phenomenal. The only thing that I changed on the third session was I tried Sport Plus. All my earlier sessions were with traction mode, so just pushing the traction button once. And so I went to Sport Plus to see if the extra throttle would give me a little bit more of a push coming out of the turns, because that's where I felt like the car was lacking sometimes. And I really need to work on my shift points, because when I downshift before a braking zone, sometimes I don't shift enough, and then when I come out of it, I'm waiting for boost to come on. And I mean, it's a stock turbo car, but with the temperature outside, let's see, it's 82 degrees, so I'm sure my IATs are really high, and the turbo's just a little bit slower to respond. So that's what I'm trying to work on mostly, but I was able to get within a half second of my best time on my Jetta. For those of you guys that have seen that car, you know, it was stripped out interior with a roll cage, big turbo kit, aero, and the best time that I ran in that car was a 124.8, and I'm already running multiple low 125s with just brakes and tires. So I think the next step is just to add a stage 1 tune just to see what it can do. I think tomorrow it's actually going to rain, so this will kind of be my last chance to see how fast the car can be in its current configuration. And I just can't wait to test more stuff later on. But tomorrow we should have more fun in the rain too, because learning to drive in the wet is also a really good skill to have. If it does rain that much, I plan on using that to my advantage to learn as much as possible. So let's get back out there, flash the stage 1 tune, and see what we can do.
So while I was editing the video, I realized I forgot to do a recap video at the end of day 1. I pretty much went back to the hotel and just passed out. So it was a pretty long day, but I'll try to recollect all my thoughts here. Basically, that last session felt great. The car was definitely faster. You could see it picked up an extra, 4 to 5 miles an hour on the front straight, and it was faster down all the straights. But because of that, I was hyper focused on making sure I nailed my braking zones, and I just didn't want to blow through them and go off the track. The group that I was with has a pretty strict policy. If you go off the track 3 times, they basically end your weekend, which is fair. You know, you're supposed to test the limits of your car, but you also don't want to overdrive it. So, you know, I respect that, and I really just didn't want to be one of the guys that went off. And I ended up being way too conservative. I was not able to capitalize on the extra power. And as I was starting to get comfortable with the car and pushing it a little farther and farther, my gas light came on. And that was pretty annoying just because I knew I wasn't that low on gas. I think when I filled up, it took 11 and a half or 12 gallons. But because of how hard I had been pushing it on the track, the car was overcompensating. You know, it adjusted my estimated mileage based on me going wide open throttle for 25 minutes at a time. So, you know, it is what it is. Just to be safe, I pulled off, even though I knew I had a few gallons of fuel. I didn't want to run into fuel starvation issues, so I went ahead and filled up and just ended the day there and basically set up everything to prepare for the next day. Now, day 2 was very different from day 1. The conditions were completely changed. The weather wasn't cooperating. So that was a whole new learning experience, and that'll be in part 2 of this kind of small video series. But either way, it was a great weekend. Again, I highly recommend it. If you guys want to test the handling of your car, find a group, find a track that's within a couple hours, and just go enjoy your car. You know, it's a really great way to learn it and get a newfound respect for the BMW driving dynamics and just everything that they've put into the B58 engine. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this video. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope this helps. And if you have any other questions or comments, leave them down below.
Again, this thing keeps going.
It fell?
Yeah.
Hold on.